This is going to be directions on how to rewire an outlet. You have basically 3 wires typically, or if it's in a series circuit, that means if power comes into the outlet and goes out to another outlet, you're going to have a wiring situation like this. You got your black wire here is your hot wire, and then this is your neutral wire, the white ones, and this is the ground wire here. All of these, one set of these wires will go back to the electrical panel and hook up to the electrical panel directly, and that will be your source for power. When you have 4 wires like this, you typically have the 2 wires, black and white, with a ground wire that comes in from the panel with the power, and then it continues through the outlet into the next series of outlets. So these 2 wires, well, if the power was turned on right now because it's unhooked, these 2 wires would not typically have power in them. This outlet is approximately 40 years old. It's the original outlet that was in this condominium. You can see it's really dirty on top, and it's painted over multiple times. And in this bottom one here, the ground portion of the outlet right here is completely sealed with paint. That renders this unusable for a 3-prong cord. So what I did was, you had your 2 hots on the hot side, which is here. They were, in these cases, they were direct wired. If you look on the back of the outlet, it typically will tell you what is the hot side and what is the ground side. In this case, this says white. That means that is the ground side. And this one doesn't say. I don't see it on there. It doesn't say hot, but you can see it's broken there. But this was direct wired, which are these holes here. Allow you to put 2 hot wires into the back of the outlet. These holes are bigger than what you might find in a newer outlet because of the gauge wiring is different. This is a thicker gauge wire. Now these screws that are on the side of the outlet are for attaching the wires if they don't fit into these little holes. And then this metal piece right here is for, you break this and it separates the 2 outlets. So if the power came in here and went to here in a series and that tab was broken, this bottom part of the outlet would not have any power. The way these are typically done is if you have a separate outlet wired to a switch, and then this is just our outlet to hot. So this, it has power all the time. This is controlled by the switch. That's when you would use this, an example of when you use breaking this off. There's one on each side. You'd have to break both sides to separate that outlet out into 2 outlets. So I've already disconnected the wires. I removed it from the back. If you put a small screwdriver into this little hole right here, it should release the wire. There's a little tab in there. When you hit it down, it releases the pressure on the wire, and that's a direct wire outlet. So I've already removed this. You unscrew these 2 screws here from the wall. This screw hole here is for the cover plate. I removed the outlet, and then I detached the wires from the back. One thing I haven't said is the ground, and that's where the ground attaches right there. This screw tightens down on the ground, and if you look close, you see a GR on the outlet. So let's see, that's kind of foggy. Let's see if we can get it focused. Okay, if you look close, you see there's the ground. That screw right by my thumb there. And let's see, still don't see anywhere on there where this one says hot. So this outlet is in a series of outlets. That's why you have power coming in and then power going out. And the white wires, that's the ground that sends the as the power comes in, it has to go back to the panel. So that's where it comes through the outlet, goes all the way through all the outlets, and then it comes back here, goes through the panel, back to the panel. So I have this new outlet I'm going to put in. You can see it comes with the 2 screws to attach it to the wall. Has a hole in the middle for the cover plate to go into. In this particular outlet, if you look inside it, it's a safety outlet. It has it's closed on the outside here. You can see a piece of plastic in there. So they call this a safety outlet. It's supposed to, you know, eliminate the need to put a cover on the outlet if you have children or some other issue where you want more safety with your outlets. These 2 side screws are for the, I believe those will be the ground wire, and these will be the hot. I'm going to show you in a minute where it says that, and notice there, these look like aluminum screws, and I believe these are copper for conducting the power. If you look on the back, this outlet says, this one does say hot on it, on the copper side. See if I can get it in focus again. I think I can see hot there, but it's hard to see it. Let me take it away for a minute and I can get a better idea with the light. If I turn on the light, you'll be able to see it better. It does say hot there. Very hard to see it. And then on the other side, it should say white or ground, or white or neutral. And then that one says ground there. You can see that. That's the ground screw right in the middle, right there. And this one doesn't have the holes in the back to direct wire the outlet. So when you want to do this, you know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, you want the wire to hook onto the screw in the direction of how you turn the screw. So the wire is going to come underneath the screw and then wrap around the top. And this one, same thing, underneath, wrap around the top. Because as that screw turns, it's going to keep the wire under the screw. You don't want to put it the other way, because as you turn it, the wire can loosen under the screw. The same thing is on this side, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So in this case, you're righty, you're going to come in on the top of the screw and wrap around the bottom of the screw. That way it keeps the wire under the screw. So electrician will tell you that the best way to wire this outlet is to first wire the ground. Okay, you have this ground wire, so I'm going to pause the phone. I'm going to wrap the wire around this ground. Then that's the ground wire. The bare copper wire is typically the ground wire. So you can see there, I just wrapped the copper wire around the ground screw there and tightened it down. So you want to try and get that wrapped all the way around under the screw. Next, the next series, you would wire the neutral side, which are the two white wires. Again, you want to wrap those in the way you turn it. So it's going to come in on this top side of the screw, and then it's going to wrap around on both of those screws. So you can put both of the wires around that side, the white wires. I'm going to pause. I'm going to take care of that, and I'm going to come back. All right, so there you have it. You can see the wire comes around the top and wraps around to the back. And then this wire comes around the top, wraps around to the back, and it's tightened in there. There is a little nick in the wire there. It doesn't go through to the bare wire, but when you have that situation, you might want to wrap some tape around there, just so that it stays safe. And you want to use electrical tape. So now I'm going to do the other side. I've got the two black wires, and again, these are going to come around the bottom of the screw and wrap to the top. And what I use to bend the wire is just a needle nose pliers, and I just want to take the wire, grip it at towards the end, and I want to put a hook on the wire. So I'm going to pause, and then I'll come back. For reference sake, so you can see it, the black wires, I put a little hook on the wire, and I hooked it upward because that's the way I'm going to attach it to these screws. So I'm going to pause, attach the screws. Sometimes you have to loosen. You can see this bottom one is not loose, it's tight. So I'm going to have to loosen this screw in order to get it on. So here we have it fully attached. Got the two black wires on the right side, which is the hot side, and we've got the two white wires attached on the neutral side, and we've got the ground wire down here. So now we want to, I cleaned all this garbage that was in the electric box out. There's still some in there, but I try and get all the old dust and everything that's in there out. You can see there's dust all along the wall. You want to clean that up as best as you can. Get that out of there. And this is the electrical box. You can see both the wires come in from the top. So one's coming from the panel and one's going out to another outlet. Of course, you want to take safety precautions. Turn the outlet off at the panel before you do this, and you can test it with a plug, working plug, light bulb, light fixture, any kind of phone charger, see if there's power, or you could use a multimeter to test to see where the power is. And that also is a way, the multimeter, to tell you which power is coming into the outlet box. When the power's on, you can test it. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reattach it with these screws. There's one on the top, one on the bottom, into these two holes here. And what you want to do is you want to neatly bend the wires back into the box before you do that. These wires are pretty stiff compared to what you might see in a newer property, which makes it a little harder. You can also see that this old box is not attached very well, but if these panels grip down on the wall well, it will clamp this box back into place. If it does not, there are adapters you can put on the box to make it so that it tightens the box down. So I'm going to pause and then I'm going to set this back in. So true to fashion to this property, these boxes are so loose that it's very difficult to get these screws to connect there because the wires are stiff, and if they're not properly put in there, it pushes the box back. So in this case, I was able to put a screwdriver underneath the box to hold it from going back, and then was able to get the 2 screws in. Sometimes you'll find the drywall here is missing, a little bit missing down here, so that piece, the metal piece, doesn't grip properly on the drywall. That's when you need to put, there's a piece that you can buy to put on there that wraps around to make that box more secure. And they're a little tricky to use, but once you learn how to use them, they're very effective. Otherwise, when you try to push the outlet in, those loose boxes, you're going to end up with lots of broken outlets because the outlets move in the box, and they shouldn't move. They should be flush with the wall, not flush with the wall. They should be straight out from the wall. They won't be exactly flush because your cover plate will fit over top of it and cover this area here. Oftentimes, a lot of air in houses gets through these cracks here, so a good insulator will tell you that you want to seal all these cracks around the box so the air doesn't get through. It makes your house less efficient. That's one of the big areas. You can see this big gap here, particularly if this is in an exterior wall or you have attic right above here. That air is coming in to your house or escaping. The heat can escape. So I've got both screws tightened in there. Now I'm going to open my outlet cover plate. This is a little bit bigger than a standard plate because these holes and the way these boxes are here, I want to make sure that I cover all of that area. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to open this up, and there's a single screw. It goes in the middle, and that tightens the outlet down. Again, you want it to be straight up and down, and you don't want this outlet turned to the left or to the right. So you need to make sure that it's solid in there and it's facing straight out. So to install this, you just place the plate over top of the outlet, and then you insert the screw. You can hand turn it, and that tightens the outlet into the plate. It also helps stabilize it a little bit. And if you look here, it covers all the empty space, so it gives you a nice finished look. And let's see, you want to see here, you can see that there's a little bit more space on the top than on the sides. That's what happens when the outlet is not facing directly out. You want that outlet to protrude all the way from the plate. It's a little better on this side, this left side, than it is on this right side. That tells me the outlet is shifting slightly to the left. This is good enough, so I'm not going to take it off again and straighten it, but you want to make sure the outlet is secure. Not going to push in when you put that plug in there. Now sometimes in these plastic, especially the cheaper ones, when you put this screw in, it cracks this part right here, especially if you tighten it down too much. And you don't want that to happen. So I usually try and get these better, the upgraded plates, so they're only a few more dollars, or you can even get metal plates. I don't love the metal plates, but the upgraded plastic ones are fine, or vinyl. All right, I hope you like the instructions. It is, here for handyman to how to change an outlet, and I hope that's helpful. You can leave some comments below. If I said anything wrong, please correct it with the comments, and I hope this is helpful. I'm sure there's lots of these instruction type videos on YouTube, but I thought I would just add one more directional video to my library, and I hope you like it. If you do like it, would love to have you follow me. I'm going to try and put on some more of these, how you get these things done around the house. I am a licensed contractor, and I do a lot of home renovations and property renovations, property management. And I've taught myself how to do all these things over the years. Pretty well skilled in these home repairs. In our area, you know, just replacing an outlet like this, somebody might charge you $100, $200. And the outlet itself is, you know, less than $1. The cover plate's probably $1 as well, so you're talking about $2 in supplies. Sometimes you run into some issues with the wires being broken. That's a little bit more of an advanced job. There's different things you can do to fix that without having to replace the entire wire. But you want to make sure you're doing your work according to code. Thank you. Have a good day. Like the video below, and please feel free to follow my account.